Bismillah. So let us continue from where we stopped last time. As I said, the prototype of all arts is the circle, for the circle is the fundamental symbol, the symbol of the monad, the symbol of the one, the symbol of the oneness of being. This here is the origin, the source, and the archetype of all arts. The circle, the one, the manyness of things, uh, rounded, or rather rounding, the oneness of being. This is what I speak in my book, which I consider art, which I consider a work of poetry. That I say, by singularity, I mean that one thing in which many things are bespoken. By form, I mean those many things which are bespoken of the one. And I say to bespeak, because we speak of language here, we speak of the self-reflection of consciousness. But given this speech, given this word and sound and poetic incantation, one hopefully can and will rise to some degree into consciousness itself to not only speak of singularity and form, of the whole and its parts, of the one and its multitudinous manifestations, but one will become conscious of them as pure meanings beheld in the mind. That ultimately, from having bespoken and having thereby bethought and beheld, we may be in that mystical center, may ourselves dissolve into this abysmal point of pure oneness. This is why it is the archetype of all arts. The circle has a center. It has this focal point which brings it together. It has intelligibility. It is a form. It has infinitely many parts, but the parts are in a perfect relationship of symmetry, which perfectly captures consciousness into this funnel, like a mandala pattern, a microcosm of reality, some one object that we can focus our conscious attentive gaze upon, which thereby concentrates the power of consciousness into a mystical experience, like a lens or like a mirror, I suppose a convex mirror which gathers light into itself and concentrates light, a lens, an eye. It's amazing that the eye is this art. The eye is this ocular circular work of art. And in fact, the shape over here, in Arabic, to describe the shape, we would say ayn, which is the word for eye, because the eye has the circumference and it has the center, the pupil. In fact, I think there's many circles inside of circles in the eye. This eye of reality, the eye, not just the eye, but the singular point of self-consciousness, the one, that is all art. That is all reality. So I speak of these two poles, the central point of oneness and the circle of its forms, by these two words of singularity and of form. By singularity, I mean that singular point of vision. By forms, I mean the forms of that vision, the many multiple forms it takes. Now that the oneness of being, which is in the beginning, is therefore the all singularity. The singularity which is before all things, the oneness which is itself the ground of all one. In a theological sense, we might call that the divine essence, the divine darkness, the God who is hidden from all things but known only unto himself. Whereas the one, as it is the center of creation, the center of the world, the one as it is the singularity of singularities, the holy of holies, the absolute center, the one, the unique, the singular, that is the God who has breathed life into the world. It is God as we know him. It is the theological and theistic notion of God the Creator, the one. And the forms of the one, which are therefore all the forms of the world, forms themselves, are, are the created things. It is the cosmos. So the circle represents the world. The center of the circle represents God. And the hidden center, which is before the circle, perhaps conceived as the circle absorbed into the point and the point into itself. The center of the circle, that is the divine essence, the divine darkness, the abysmal darkness, the secret of secrets, the mystery of mysteries, the holy unknown. And all art is a gateway into that. All art is to bring the many into the one. So to lead into the pure oneness which has no name. To lead into what we would call in theological language, especially in the Abrahamic traditions, the beatific vision or the contemplation of the Godhead. The contemplation of God. That is the telos of all art. And therefore, good art, and art itself, is that which satisfies these qualities. That is a concentration of consciousness from manyness into oneness. But not just that, but having a center, which is not only a center, it is not an idol, but it is a symbol, because an idol calls to itself, whereas a symbol calls to another, and it calls to that other, which is beyond all others, the pure oneness of being which is before all things. That is art.